Hello and welcome to City Trekker. My name's Adam, and today we've got the third and final installments of the interview I did with Philip de LOS REYES of Remote Equipment. Phil shares about being a creative and a business owner and his drive and passion to do what he does. We also talk about the White Charlie 25, no white org kits, and the Alpha 31 version 2 process. And the Alpha 31 version 2 is coming very soon, and we're gonna have one of the first reviews of that bag on this channel, so please subscribe so that you can get notified about that. I apologize for the audio on the interview. We tried to use the lavalier microphone, but that audio didn't work, so we had to use the audio from the camera without the microphone. And now the last installment of our interview with Philip de LOS REYES. You're a creative and you started a business. Mm-hmm. So the creative guy and the business guy are not always the same guy, but you've been able to pull that off. Where do you feel like you've had strengths that have helped you do that? And where do you feel like you've had weaknesses and challenges, and how have you dealt with that?
That's true. I am a designer by training, and lifelong passion for creating and putting some music on, putting my head down, and like drawing or whether it's woodworking or sewing, just getting lost in activity is probably hard to beat. And so it was a big transition to go from being a full-time staff designer or doing project management where you're focused on one thing and doing that task really proficiently, to running a small business where, it's fun, but every hour, or if not every day, is different. So whether it's where to begin, so the product part is not easy. Everything's a struggle. There's so much need to make something that's really, really special, and we don't want to settle for anything less. That we want to put every ounce of our creative energy into every product. But on top of that, it's also about finding a marketing strategy that will help support our product and reach more people, so we can slowly grow this audience. And then it's also things like figuring out how to pay taxes and work with fulfillment centers and operate an e-commerce website and process payments. I don't think everyone understands that this is a pretty small business, so when customers have an issue and they email us, they're often getting me. And so there are a lot of days where a few hours of every morning are getting back to people about press inquiries or a question about a feature, or they need extra zipper pullers that aren't on the website, and I'm sifting through all those things and trying to help each person out. And so I love the direct relationship I have to people. But when it comes down to purchase orders, invoices, large scale strategic decisions for the business, it's something where I'm tremendously proud of where we are and where we're headed for the next few years. But it's something that I'm always asking questions and learning on the way. There's so much to learn, and the more I learn about other great businesses out there, be it soft goods or design or anything, I learned that it's not just a great product that made them a success, but a really smart business team that was able to connect with their customer and tell that story and make all the different levels work. It's not just how good of a backpack you can have. That's the tip of the iceberg. It's how well you can matter to your audience and continue to have a good relationship. And so I love it, but every day, there's days that I'm doing more customer service or update a website and I don't get to social media or the other way around. So it's a little bit of a juggling act, but it's also so much fun. I remember being a staff designer, and there'd be staff photographers or staff copy editors, and it's really great that I am able to have the input to write the copy how I want, or portray the photography how I think will communicate best.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a labor of love in that sense, but like it's a challenge. It's a challenge. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
And it continues to be a challenge on a daily basis. But that's also why I think I feed on it, and a lot of other small business owners, like this is the ultimate sport for them, is sort of like figuring out how to make all these moving parts work together.
Right.
So
what do you feel is like at the core of your passion? Like what drives you to do what you do every day?
It's just finding, understanding, creating bags that just don't exist and don't exist in any meaningful form. And I'm, like I said earlier, like yes, there are roll tops and there are rucksacks, but we trying to tell a distinct story. And when I get to create concept art or sew up prototypes that I feel are really just new, unique objects that are culturally relevant, using new materials and new ideas, even if they're very small changes, I think that I want to feel like I can help build something that's part of the future, that someday it will be the history, but like right now it feels like I'm building part of what's next. And that's as a designer, it's very exciting feeling.
Yeah.
And, everything else is just about supporting that, whether it's just building the rest of the business to help that mission of making special, like just amazing gear that has never been made before.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. Like I won't claim like I always succeed, but like that's the aim. That's where the bar is. And then if we can get close to that every time, of like building whatever we are imagining in the future to be, I think that's like what every little kid or something that like is drawing the future car, future spaceship. There's a lot of kids that like want to just imagine on paper, and that's what I could want to keep doing is imagining.
Right.
What will we want, not what we have wanted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that's what ignites my curiosity and keeps me going. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and you're doing it, man. Like the designs are very innovative and surprisingly practical.
Yeah, and people are surprised, but like like every bag is used for an extended period of time by myself or family and friends before we ever try and put it out into the world. So it will never please everyone, but like I think people, if they give that a chance, a lot of people are like, yeah, all right, it's pretty cool, it's working, it's working. And so I kind of hope that there's enough people like that get it. Yeah, thank you. I hope this continues to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the White Charlie, you made a few of them, and they were selling for a while on Suburban. And then you've more recently opened it up with a few more of them. What's the story behind the White Charlie and not doing white org kits?
Yeah, okay, so we talked about this a little bit at lunch, and it's a good question. So the White Charlie was something we were very happy to work with an Asian retailer called Suburban, and they were like, there was a lot of interest, especially in that region, for white bags and trying to tell more of not just a tactical story, but also like a technical story looking forward. And so the white VX21 is, it's not going to fade from sunlight. Your bag's going to stay cooler outside. And it's otherwise, like, I mean, some people might not like it because it might get dirty a little more quickly, but like we thought this was like a really great way to continue to sort of tell that technical story. And we signed on to do a batch with Suburban, and then we had a few extras. So after production and after Kickstarter, we decided to sort of test popularity in the US. So that's the sort of long answer to sort of where we are. And now, as of this moment, both are currently on sale. The org kits is a different story, where it's a little bit of the complexity of managing multiple colors for the org kits. But what I was talking about for lunch is I also think that the Charlie, while it's called a white bag, it's really a black-white colorway where the base and all the trims are black, and it blocks out, in my opinion, in a really interesting way where it's really half black, half white. And putting the black orchids on that, I think, really extends that colorway and makes it look, kind of continue that sort of, that technical image. And so, while I know some people will always want color match and tone on tone, I feel that, you know, it's continuing that story. And, you know, I don't want to back myself into a corner here, but this is also, we are a small company, and so we have to be very thoughtful about how many colors we produce of everything, because we're doing relatively small runs, and this is a small company, so we can't make every color that we can imagine, because we have to be sort of a little bit leaner than a large company might be. So yeah, I mean, never say never. Maybe in the future we'll do some special colors, but right now we felt black is by far the most popular and sort of can work best within the ecosystem that we've created.
Okay. You mentioned that you're doing another run of the Alpha 31s, and there's some updates that are happening to them, and there's one in the room next door that I'm not allowed to see.
Yeah.
So I know you can't talk about all the details of, you know, the updates that have happened, but can you talk in broad strokes about what it's been like updating the Alpha 31?
Yeah. So there have been a number of changes, and I can't wait to talk to you and to everyone else and to share the latest Alpha 31s with the world. A lot of it is, so our original production was in a small factory outside Portland, Oregon, and now we're sort of scaling, and we're realizing that there are parts of the bag that are technically pretty challenging, and we wanted to find a factory that could better match these needs. So we're using a factory in Vietnam, and they're doing an amazing job in developing this bag with us, but that means you start from scratch with that factory. So while maybe we all know the Alpha 31, this factory has never seen it before. So you start from zero with them. So you have to sort of show them every operation, every pattern piece, every step along the way. And then it's not only a matter of making one, but making it perfectly that is outstanding quality, where every bar tack is in place, every material is spec'd correctly, and this is ready to share with all of you. So while, you know, in my head, or even these certain samples might be ready to go, it's a long step with a lot of moving parts to sort of get a factory ready for production, and then run production, and then transition. And anyone that's maybe watched the Kickstarter or backed one realizes that even when everything's set up and ready to go, it's kind of like at least 6 months between pulling the trigger on production and often getting a bag in hand. So that's been the biggest barrier, just sort of teaching a new factory how to make this perfectly.
Yeah.
In terms of updates, there's been like I think some, I hope I'm not giving mixed signals or anything. What I can say right now is the material is going to be very similar to the X50 and X51 multicam that were used on the original, but they are not X50 and X51. So that's going to come as a surprise to some people. They're still amazing. I mean, I don't want to, I have zero negative things to say about X50 and X51, but these are amazing, highly technical fabrics that we are very excited to use, that we think make the bag as good or better than the original batch. And so this isn't about making my life easy. This is about not just sort of whatever, reflecting on the past and making more of that. I think this has come through that, like, we're always thinking about what's next. And so what's the future of the Alpha 31? And we think that these materials match where we want to head with this product. And so we're not going to always be sort of stuck in time, always just turning out the same product. These are about constantly changing. And there are a number of other...
but it's not Cordura, like you're still using X-Pack, right?
It's an X-Pac-like material.
Okay.
It's not Cordura, but like people love Cordura, as do we, and Cordura has a lot of amazing technical properties affiliated with the Cordura name.
Mm-hmm.
But we're using fabrics that have the same, if not superior, technically, from abrasion resistance to tear strength to the efficiency of strength to weight ratios that I think honestly are even more exciting than what we see from the Cordura names. And that's not to say we don't like these, but like these are really new and exciting fabrics.
Yeah.
And I think it because we're constantly sort of pushing the envelope, there are some folks out there that might be reticent to sort of be excited about new materials, and we understand, and it might take some people time to come around to that. But that's kind of our job, is to always be offering and finding the newest, most exciting materials that further what this bag can be. In terms of other updates, we want to think that this is evolutionary, and so this is about finding little ways to sort of tighten up the product, make already great features work even better. But this isn't about surprising people with a new product. This is about taking what was really special and what people love about the Alpha, and now we're finally able to have enough resources to make more. And so it's taken us a little while, but we're really excited just to be able to make more of these.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, when we get feedback or we learn little things along the way in the last 3 years, of course we can't ignore those things. We have to feed those into the product just to continue to make it a better, smarter product. So we like to think that this is just, if you're putting them side by side, at first glance you might not notice a difference, but once you start looking at every detail, you're like, oh, that's different, and like all these little details are like small refinements. And so I'm still crazy excited about this thing. It's just a matter of like, if maybe someday if there's if it was too different, it wouldn't be the Alpha anymore. And we just want to honor that bag and continue to make Alphas, but kind of a 2021 or 2022 Alpha, not a 2019 Alpha. So we're just trying to making sure it's looking forward.
Yeah. When can I get one? So you get an email a week, I'm sure. When can I get the new Alpha 31?
I do, and we've been holding off on an update because we're kind of learning about our schedule as we go. We'll be real. I think we've talked about COVID already, that it's a challenge that we're all well aware of at this point. As of the taping of this conversation, cases in Vietnam are on the rise, and that is causing, you can Google Vietnam COVID and you'll see that a whole lot of factories and infrastructure in Vietnam is closing down, much like we did last year. And that is, of course, having consequences in production. So we were hoping to do production in late summer and have these for fall. And where we are right now is we don't have enough clarity to give you. We can't say, okay, this is the new timeline, because we're all sort of reacting as it is. So I think in a few weeks it will be more clear when we're able to schedule our production with this factory. But honestly, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be either it's not going to happen on schedule as we said this fall, and so it's certainly going to be after that time frame. So clearly it will be at least this winter or even the following spring, which I know some people are like, that's like, I can't even imagine my life a year from now. Who knows? And it's sort of like, well, that's true, and who knows? But like for us, we have to project on these timelines, and thinking a year and a half, or even 2 years in advance is commonplace and necessary. So I know it's hard to be like, I want to spend the edge of my seat for the next 9 months, but we're honestly, we're going as fast as we can, and we're not going to push things if we think that could compromise quality at all. We're just going at the rate that the factory can do a really solid job with it. So we're ready to pull the trigger as soon as we can get good pre-production samples and go to production. And we're like right on the edge, and unfortunately, as this timing is working out, like the numbers are up, and of course we want everyone to stay safe and not be in an unsafe working condition, and so they're just having to do what is the safest and most responsible thing for them right now. So at this time, you know, there was a few like COVID like curses up at the sky when I got those emails a few weeks ago, and now I'm just sort of like taking some deep breaths, and it's like, you know, guys, like we're all doing our best, and we're gonna make these, but like flexibility is part of it, so we're just gonna do our best, and that announcement will come when we have more clarity over here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to it, Phil.
Me too. I can't wait for you to get one and everyone else, and like to get some fresh perspectives and hear how people are modifying it, or like anything people are doing. It's just so exciting. So we will get there, but like if this year has taught us anything, it's a little bit that like we just have to be a little bit patient and roll with the punches. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. Well, Phil, I really appreciate your time today and for sharing with us. Thank you so much. And I appreciate what you do. And you're creating products that we are using on the regular and oftentimes daily. And so, so this is affecting people's daily lives. And I appreciate your investment in that. Thank you.
Thank you. And this has been awesome. I had a great lunch with you, and this has been an awesome conversation. And I hope this has been helpful for everyone out there. So
Right.
And then let's see. We have a few more. Another early Alpha 31 in the VX21. Experimenting with a lighter weight build, and then this was done for a CCA class tutorial on how to sew a bag. So just sewed up a really simple bag. This is something that we did a project with Spectra just to do something really unique and use some of their laminated textiles and some of their Spectra wovens to do something that is just unique and special and tell a lightweight story around their textiles. And then let's see, another Alpha 31 in VX21 when we were kind of playing with that, and even more pre-production Charlie 25s. So you can see to get to where we are, there's so many small iterations along the way. So there's a lot.
So did you like this interview style or not? I'm thinking about interviewing other bag company owners, and I would really love your feedback on if this is the kind of thing that you guys would like to see more of. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and take care.